Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Agree to Disagree online via Zoom. We are going to talk to you today about a few things. We're going to do some mock drafts. Each of us has prepared a one-round mock draft for the draft, which is going to be starting tomorrow, or maybe it has already started depending on when you're watching this video. We're also going to talk a little bit about the big trade in the NFL yesterday, Gronkowski going to the Bucks. And we're going to briefly talk about the Red Sox, who had their punishment for the sign stealing scandal announced today, but we'll get to that later. I think we should start with the mock drafts. So who wants to go first? Who's got theirs ready?
I can go ahead.
All you.
Should we do like five? I think we should do like 5 picks at a time.
Sure. Start with the 5.
So here are my first 5. The Bengals are going to take Burrow. The Redskins are going to take Chase Young. And then I have the Chargers trading up with Detroit to pick Tua at 3.
Ooh.
Then I've got the Giants taking Isaiah Simmons from Clemson at 4. The Dolphins take Herbert at 5 as the third quarterback. And that's my top 5.
Jack?
I'm going to go Burrow number 1. I think all of us can agree on that. I'm going to go Chase Young number 2. Number 3, I'm going to go Jeff Okudah. I don't think the Lions, even though I think the Lions should go offensive lineman, but I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to make a dumb decision because Matt Patricia is a defensive guy. Then I'm going to see the Dolphins trading up to get to number 4. They'll take Tua because they want to get their guy. And then I'm going to see the Chargers moving up because they're afraid they just want to get their quarterback. Don't let anybody else trade up and try and they're going to get Herbert.
And where about the Giants?
He had the Dolphins trading up to take the Giants pick.
Oh, okay.
Dean, what about you?
Number 1, Bengals get Joe Burrow. Number 2, the Redskins select Chase Young. Number 3, my top 5 doesn't have a trade, but number 3, the Lions go Okudah. Number 4, I fought back and forth with, but I went with Simmons. Take the best player in the draft. And number 5, Justin Herbert over Tua. However, I wouldn't be stunned if the Dolphins trade up with Detroit or the Giants. And if I'm one of those teams, the Dolphins are the team to trade for. Take 2 of their first-round picks.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I like those. I decided to not do any trades in my mock just because I figured it would be easier for me to, pay attention to each individual pick.
That was the only 2 trades I really had.
I did the same thing except later on is a trade.
Yeah. But I think we're all in agreement that Burrow's going 1, Young's going 2. I'm willing to put like $1,000 on that. That those will be the first 2 picks unless somebody trades up to number 2. But I don't see why you would unless you wanted Chase Young.
Hey man, it's not fair. You never know.
I agree that the Lions probably should take an offensive lineman, but I think they're going to go with Jeffrey Okudah. And then 4, I also was a little bit back and forth between Isaiah Simmons and Tristan Wirfs. But I think the Giants have had terrible O-line play the past, 5 seasons. They have a young quarterback, and I think that they want to protect Daniel Jones, so I have them taking him. And then at 5, I have the Dolphins taking Justin Herbert because I still think he's the second best quarterback in the draft.
Okay. So then I'll keep going. So at 6, as I said before, with the trade with the Lions and Chargers, the Lions get the 6th pick. They take Jeff Okudah, so they actually move down and get the guy that I thought they would take earlier. Then at 7, Carolina takes the defensive tackle from Auburn, Derek Brown. At 8, the first tackle off the board, Arizona takes Tristan Wirfs. And then at 9, I think Atlanta is in a great spot to move up to get a corner. I think they do that. They take C.J. Henderson after they trade with Jacksonville. Oh, and sorry, number 10. Sorry, Mekhi Becton from Louisville. The only reason I decided that Mekhi Becton is going to go to Cleveland at offensive tackle is because Cleveland loves to take the guys with the off the field issues, and we know that Becton had a problem with the drug test last week. So I'll say that's where he goes to.
Nice. I like that. I like it.
I like that. All right. Number 6, I have the Giants. I think they're going to take Jedrick Willis. Like Aidan said, got to give Daniel Jones some protection. Number 7, I think the Panthers are going to go Isaiah Simmons, get the best linebacker available. The Cardinals, especially now, I think they're going to go Wirfs. They definitely, after getting Hopkins, they don't need to go receiver, and you got to get Kyler Murray protection. I think that's the most important thing for them. At number 9, I have the Jaguars taking Derek Brown. They need to start rebuilding Jacksonville. They've lost a lot of bodies on that D-line, and that's where they got to start. At number 10, I actually think, well, I could see them trading. I don't see the Browns going O-line here. I think they're going to trade. They're going to have some later picks in a later round, and they're going to get Trent Williams in a trade. So here it's kind of tough. Maybe I can see them going a corner. I can see them going corner, perhaps C.J. Henderson.
Okay. I really wonder what happens with Trent Williams tomorrow. He's one of the most interesting players in the whole draft about where he goes to.
Cleveland's been in talks with them.
And Ngakoue.
You also speak about the Jacksonville Jaguars and losing pieces. Well, Yannick Ngakoue is definitely a piece to watch on the Jags right now. And not only Ngakoue, but there's also Leonard Fournette on the other side of the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
If the
Jags
want to trade up, if the Jags want to trade up, they definitely could get higher by trading Ngakoue.
Yeah.
Easily.
Ngakoue insulted the owner's son, right?
I think so, yeah.
I thought
that was
Was it his brother or his son?
I don't know. He did tell me to insult the owner, like saying, "Literally, get me out of here. I will do."
He was like, "Stop playing with me."
They went back on a pretty long Twitter battle. That was pretty interesting.
Oh yeah,
that
was great.
All right, Dean, what you got for 6 to 10?
Number 6, I got the Chargers going with Tua. Number 7, I got the Panthers going Derek Brown. I think I do agree at number 8, the first offensive tackle goes off the board in Tristan Wirfs. Protect Kyler Murray at all costs. Javon Kinlaw goes to the Jaguars at number 9.
Ooh.
And number 10, the Browns go Jedrick Willis. I think the Browns are going to go O-line regardless. I think Jedrick Willis is a better player than Becton, plus Becton. I wouldn't be shocked if Becton got, as Noah said, drafted by the Browns off-field issues, but I think Willis is the better player here, and I think you take the better player.
And I think we also agree that, think about the last time an offensive lineman had some trouble with drugs right before the draft. He ended up being one of the best offensive linemen drafted in the past few years.
Laremy.
Tunsil. So,
Ole Miss.
I wouldn't count that against him too hard.
John Watson loves that man.
So at number 6,
Bill O'Brien's man.
I have the Chargers. Here's the thing. I want to give the Chargers credit that they're going to make a good pick, but also in my heart, I know that the Chargers will not. They will do everything they can to mess up. So they're going to draft Tua at 6 with a complete waste of a pick. 7, I have the Panthers. I agree. I have them taking defense, and I think they're going to go Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
At 8, I also have an offensive tackle going to Arizona, but I have them taking Jedrick Wills because I already have Wirfs off the board. 9, Dean, I agree with you. I think the Jags go with Kinlaw. And then 10, I also agree that the Browns seem like a good fit for Mekhi Becton. So that's who I have down at 10.
All right. Continuing on with my Jets, I think we get Andrew Thomas, the offensive tackle from Georgia. I know a lot of people have been saying receiver, and I really don't believe in that. I think you have to go tackle. You have to get Darnold some protection for the first time ever, and then deal with the receiver stuff as we go on further in the draft. That's 11. Then 12, the first receiver off the board, Vegas takes Jerry Judy. At 13, I could see San Francisco trading down with Denver, and Denver gets their man and Henry Ruggs, also from Bama. And then another Bama player at 14, Jedrick Wills to the Tampa Bay Bucks. They need to protect Brady. They do that. And at 15, you have San Francisco after trading with Denver, and they get Javon Kinlaw, the DL from South Carolina.
All right, interesting. So the 11th pick for me, I'm going to see the Jets. I don't think they're going to go lineman. I think they're going to take C.D. Lamb. And you guys could agree with me. You guys probably will disagree with me on some of the picks I have. This is just what I think they should do. At number 12, the Oakland Raiders are going to take Jordan Love. And I think John Gruden is done with Derek Carr. He's had enough. He wants a more of an athletic guy and who's just better. I think he's had Derek Carr's time in Oakland as a starter is coming to an end. At 13 with the San Francisco 49ers, this is a very interesting spot because I know people are saying they should go receiver, but I think they should do something a little smarter. Jimmy Garoppolo is your franchise quarterback, and one person on that offense that is not getting any younger is Joe Staley, and he is not going to be around forever. I think they should go Andrew Thomas here and get a replacement and a future left tackle. At pick 14, I can actually see the Falcons. I don't know why I just see this. I can see them potentially nabbing Julio Jones' replacement in Jerry Judy.
14th Tampa Bay. Jack.
Oh wait, crap. Sorry. Why did I think that? All right. 14, then I think the Buccaneers, they're going to go Andrew Thomas, obviously. With Brady there now. They have Gronk, they have Evans, and they got Godwin. It's all about protection now for them. And 15, I see the Denver Broncos going Henry Ruggs. Getting it. Drew Lock, another weapon. Him and Sutton. One of the best young combinations.
I like it.
Right.
Number
11, I got the Jets selecting Becton. Darnold's going to need an offensive tackle. He needs protection. He has no time to throw, and I think getting Becton would be a good pick. The Raiders go CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, in my opinion, is the best receiver in this class, best pure receiver as well. You could say Judy, but I think CeeDee Lamb's got every tool possible. I think the Niners go Jerry Judy, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go Henry Ruggs because at the same time, the Niners have that speed offense, and Henry Ruggs could fit that well. But we're going to get to Ruggs later. 14, the Bucks get Andrew Thomas. It makes too much sense. Get Tom Brady some protection. And number 15, Henry Ruggs, the Broncos. Give Drew Lock another weapon. Give him a speedster, a versatile playmaker with Noah Fant, Phillip Lindsay, Melvin Gordon. Give him that young offense.
All right.
Yeah, I like it. Dean, I agree with you that Darnold has no time to throw, but he also has no one to throw to. So I also think the Jets are going to be taking a wide receiver. I have them taking CeeDee Lamb at 11. At 12, I do think that Gruden's going to start looking for a replacement for Carr, but I don't see him taking that in the draft. I see him signing someone in free agency. I could see him signing Jameis Winston. I kind of like that fit up there. And to help Winston get started, I think they draft Jerry Judy at 12. And then at 13, the Niners, they love the speedy guys. They love those receivers. I have them taking Henry Ruggs. So 3 wide receivers in a row right there. 14, I don't think there's a lot of disagreement here. Bucks need Somo line. They need to protect Brady. They take Andrew Thomas. And then at 15, Denver defense has started to fall apart a little bit recently. So I have them taking Derek Brown.
He fell a lot for you.
Did he?
Yeah. I think most of us were top. I think I had him 7.
Did you guys all have him higher? I just think that there aren't a lot of teams that needed defensive tackles right at the beginning of the draft. So of course there could be teams that trade up. I didn't account for any of that in mine. If Derek Brown, he falls past the top 5, top 10, maybe someone's going to trade up and take him at 11 or 12. I have no idea. But that's just who I have with what I got.
Cool. All right. 16. Jacksonville, they traded with I know I have a million trades. They traded with Atlanta earlier. I said that. So they get a corner to replace Ramsey/Boye and AJ Terrell from Clemson. At 17, Kayvon Chason, the edge rusher from LSU to Dallas. At 18, Miami picks their tackle. They get the 5th best tackle, Josh Jones from Houston. Vegas, the Raiders take Xavier McKinney, the safety from Alabama. I have a lot of Alabama guys in my top 20. And at 20, Jordan Love gets picked by Jacksonville, and he goes to compete with Gardner Minshew, and I think that's the spot which makes the most sense for him. They seem to be the team, to me, that has the biggest quarterback need outside of maybe the Chargers and some of the teams at the very top who are going to take quarterbacks for sure. And I think Jacksonville is a good spot for Love to go and a place where he can maybe win the job right out of camp.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting choice. I don't think I've heard anybody else say that, honestly.
The thing is, though, what I heard is that the Jags have been tabbed as many as the team that could tank for Trevor Lawrence next year.
which is true. And they could
Which
also
makes
sign
so
Cam
much
Newton.
sense.
It does make sense. It would also make sense for them to sign Cam Newton too.
Yeah.
And not only that, knowing that they might trade Ngakoue and Fournette, as you might as well just like load up the tank and try to draft high next year for a quarterback.
Yeah, but also, I mean, even with Ngakoue and Fournette, you're still going to lose a lot of games this year.
Oh, definitely.
So
Yeah.
I don't think they should trade away Fournette. I think Ngakoue, he wants to be gone.
If he's not traded, he's holding out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. See, they're in a weird situation because they had a really loaded roster just as recently as 2 years ago, AFC
2017,
Championship game.
they almost made the Super Bowl.
Right, exactly. And now they're in a spot where they might be the least talented roster in the whole league, but they still have some holdovers from that previous team. They just don't have the quarterback still, and a lot of the guys that they had have either left or demanded trades. So it's not a good look for them from a standpoint of a lot of their players don't want to be there, but they still have some talent because of the guys they had from that team. But they're definitely in a weird spot. They're hard to protect for me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I agree with a lot of what you said. The only thing I don't agree with is where you said Xavier McKinney is going. I think he is going to the Dallas Cowboys, and they will finally replace the GOAT, Jeff Heath.
Legend.
Oh, Falcons get Henderson at 16. I don't think the Falcons need to trade up for Henderson. I think they could wait out for Henderson in this draft. The Cowboys get Chason from LSU. The Dolphins get Josh Jones. I think the Raiders get Kristen Fulton, cornerback LSU. And I think Trayvon Diggs goes to the Jags. I think the Jags get a corner at 20.
Okay.
I agree with your first two, Dean. I have Henderson to the Falcons, Chason to the Cowboys. Then with the Dolphins, I have them taking AJ Epinesa. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right.
Epinesa.
Epinesa. The Raiders at 19, I have them taking Trayvon Diggs one before. I think the Jags want him, but I think that the Raiders get him at 19. And then at 20, the Jags still want a cornerback, so they take Christian Fulton.
All right.
On to 21.
Back to me, right? Yep.
Yeah.
All right. 21. Finally, CeeDee Lamb goes off the board, and the Philadelphia Eagles get the biggest steal. Sorry, that was my Xbox controller. In the entire draft. So the Eagles get CeeDee Lamb. I love that pick for them. At 22, Trayvon Diggs from Bama to Minnesota. At 23, New England's a tough team to project also, but I think they stay with a safer pick like Belichick tends to do a lot of the time. So they take Patrick Queen, the linebacker from LSU. Another LSU player at 24, New Orleans finally gets that second bona fide stud receiver with Justin Jefferson. Although they did sign Sanders, I think having some insurance there would be a good idea. And then at 25, the Colts trade into the first round with Minnesota, and they take T. Higgins, the last receiver that I really love, still on the board.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
For me at 21, the Philadelphia Eagles are going Jalen Reagor. Got to get a receiver desperately. What is it Skip Bayless always said? Who is that guy? Who was the guy he always said he had a connection
Greg Ward,
with?
his favorite player, Greg Ward.
Yeah, Greg Ward, because he is a quarterback, so he has a connection. But I think they need a guy who's a natural receiver, and Jalen Reagor is that guy. At 22, the Vikings are going to be taking – they're going to get a new Diggs in Trayvon Diggs, and he's going to replace Xavier Rhodes at cornerback. And I think the Vikings have had the worst offseason out of any team. At 23, the New England Patriots are going to go Yetur Gross-Matos, get a new edge rusher, start reloading that defense after losing a couple guys, some key pieces like Kyle Van Noy, Jamie Collins, a couple others I can't think of right now. I actually think the Saints are going to go with Javon Kinlaw and start to give more firepower to the defensive line. Marcus Davenport, I don't think he's been what was advertised. I think he hasn't been that good. Plus, Sheldon Rankins has had some injury problems, and I think it would only benefit them to have more depth on that D-line.
Okay.
And with the 25th pick, I have the Minnesota Vikings picking Austin Jackson and giving more protection to Kirk Cousins.
Mr. Dean.
I got the Eagles taking Justin Jefferson at number 21, receiver out of LSU. I got the Vikings selecting Austin Jackson, offensive tackle. I got the Patriots going AJ Epenza at 23. I think the Saints select Patrick Queen out of LSU. And number 25, I get Jeff Gladney from TCU.
I do the same thing every single time I look at his name. I'm like, oh my God, wait, what?
I actually once looked up, is Jeff Gladney related to Will?
Is Will the Gladney trying for this year, or is he trying for next year? Because I know he was gonna do
Oh, this year.
This year.
It's this year. Yeah.
I really can't see it.
I mean, he played pretty solid. Drafted, maybe not, but
Yeah.
I could see him get signed.
Yeah, maybe he'll catch on somewhere, but he's not going to get drafted.
Yeah,
I would love to see a Bomber's name get called on draft day. That would be.
People would be like confused. They'd be like, "What school even is that?"
That would be amazing.
Hey man, Joe Germinario. He's
Aidan.
gone.
With the first overall pick of the 2020 draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Joe Germinario out of Ithaca.
Bengals fans are gonna bring signs week 1. You got the wrong Joe.
Oh,
Nah,
You got the wrong
Joe Germinario would lead them to a Super Bowl instantly. 16-0, first perfect season, first 19-0.
You know, more touchdowns than Peyton Manning, single season, more yards than Lamar Jackson. Everything possible.
I mean, hey,
He can say that he won a game in MetLife Stadium, which
Yeah, I was
most
just gonna say,
of those other
Derek played
quarterbacks
in
can't
MetLife.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, most D1 quarterbacks haven't even played a game in MetLife. Joe
The
Germinario.
Bombers have a better record at MetLife Stadium than the Cowboys did last year.
Ooh.
Yeah, true.
I like that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the Bombers have a better record at MetLife the Bombers had a better record at MetLife last season than the Giants and Jets both did. So
Combined.
Yeah. They had no losses.
All right, go ahead, Aidan.
All right, at 21, I have the Eagles taking Justin Jefferson. I think he could be the best receiver in this draft, or he at least has the potential to be. At 22, I have the Vikings taking Jeff Gladney, although they could mix up the names and accidentally call Will Gladney's name. Who knows? 23, you guys are all right. The Patriots are so hard to nail down, but something in me tells me they're going to take Jordan Love. He's still available, and I like it. I think it's interesting. I think they sit him behind Stidham for a year before putting him in, or they trade away Stidham. But I could
Question for you, Aidan, quickly. Do you think he could win the job right away over Jared Stidham if he got drafted there?
I think Belichick would let him compete. Belichick is never one to give anybody the starting job right off the bat. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. But I think he would be drafted as an heir to Jarrett Stidham after a couple seasons or even just a season of transition.
Also, did you guys see that video, that Gridiron Heights video of the NFL draft?
No, I was gonna watch it later tonight.
Yeah,
No.
so they're having like a Zoom draft, and somebody's hacking the thing. So all of like the people that you expect to make like dumb decisions that are like the obvious ones are making it. And this is the funniest part. I know Dean's gonna love this. So the Texans are up, and instead of like a little thing pops on the screen, like Belichick is hacking. So a little thing pops on the screen for Bill O'Brien. It says, "Just do what you would normally do."
I heard that the virtual draft was already a mess when they tested it out.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why it would be so difficult though. The WNBA did it last week and it worked out fine.
I want to see.
But the WNBA is probably significantly smarter than the NFL.
Yeah, but also I want to see realism here. Like when a name is called, I want to see virtual boos. I want to see virtual boos for Roger Goodell.
Just take a little button and press the booing crowd effect.
Bud Light is sponsoring for everybody who sends a video with like the hashtag Boo the Commish. If they post that, everyone they're going to donate $1 to coronavirus relief. And Roger Goodell enforced it. He like posted on the NFL Instagram account saying, "Yeah, you guys should do this."
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Keep going.
Great sportsmanship.
That's the one thing I respect about him. That's the one thing I respect about Roger Goodell. He knows he's hated, but he accepts it, and he plays off to that. Like James Dolan. If James Dolan did that, I'd actually like him more. Like if you play off the fact that everybody hates you, and they would love nothing more than to see your head out of the building.
All right, at 24, I have the Saints taking Patrick Queen. I think they need a linebacker. especially with, Kiko Alonso. He's getting old. They lost AJ Klein. And then at 25, I have the Vikings taking Julian Aquara. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Again, not great at names.
Right.
But that is a defensive end, which I think they could definitely use at this point.
Notre Dame, right?
Out of Notre Dame, yep.
Yep. Aquara.
All right, for me, here we go.
Last 7.
Yeah, let me just do the last 7 straight. All right, so Miami, they picked the first running back of the draft, Jonathan Taylor, my favorite back in the draft. 27, AJ Epenza from Iowa goes to Seattle. I feel like Seattle always could use extra pass rushing, and we don't know what's going to happen with Jadeveon Clowney.
Yep.
28, the Bears trade into the first round to get a corner. They need some help there. Christian Fulton from Clemson would be the guy for me. At 29, Tennessee, they got to admit that Corey Davis was a bust. He's not going to be the guy going forward alongside A.J. Brown. So Michael Pittman, maybe he'll fill that role eventually. Green Bay gets another receiver to go alongside Adams. Denzel Mims from Baylor. At 31, I could see Cesar Ruiz to San Francisco. They could use some O-line help, as you said before, Jack. And at 32, Gross Matos. Kansas City needs help defensively. We know that. Offensively, they're so good. They're not going to need to draft many people there. So I think an edge rusher from Penn State would be a good fit.
Nice. All right, for me, at pick 26, after the Dolphins have gotten Tua, they are going to give him some protection, and they are going to put Ezra Cleveland with the number 26 pick. At number 27, I see the Seattle Seahawks going how do you say it?
Epenza, right? Isn't that how I say it?
Epenza.
Yep.
We've all pronounced it differently. I have no idea.
Well, he's going to 27, especially we don't know what's going to happen with Jadeveon Clowney. At pick 28, I see the Ravens going Josh Uche, get another edge rusher, especially when we don't know what's going to happen with Matthew Judon. They need another linebacker, another guy that can rush the passer. Pass rush. I see with the 29th pick, the Tennessee Titans are going to go Isaiah Wilson. You just spent big bucks on, which I think was a mistake, on Ryan Tannehill. So you gotta invest completely into him. You gotta give him all the protection he needs.
Best choice they've made in the past 5 years.
To sign Ryan Tannehill?
Yes.
Oh, no way. The best decision
I
they'll
get
make.
the resigning, but I don't like the money he got.
That is almost the dumbest thing I've heard on the show since Noah said that Duke, North Carolina is the greatest rivalry in all of sports.
Okay, I'm sorry. Even if that's a bad take, which it's not, is a way better take than Ryan Tannehill getting the money he deserved.
Ryan Tannehill got the money that he deserved.
He deserves to get re-signed, but I don't think he deserves the money.
He's not worth $116 million.
He deserved it all.
You should have got like a contract that Ryan Fitzpatrick got after his 20
in the playoffs by Derrick Henry.
1 year, $12 million. That's what he deserved.
Keep going, Jack.
All right, fine. Anyway, with the 30th pick, I see the Green Bay Packers going Kenneth Murray, getting another linebacker to replace Blake Martinez, which I think was a huge mistake. They let him go. With the 31st pick, I see the San Francisco 49ers, again, going O-line. They're going to take Cesar Ruiz, is that how you say it? And get a new center after Rich Berg's had injury problems and he is getting up there in age. And finally, with the 32nd pick, the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs are going to be taking Noah, and help me say this, Noah Igbenogany. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, baby. Yeah, my man from Auburn.
And get a cornerback that will help Kendall Fuller.
That's going to be the best corner in the league because his name is Noah. Watch that. Next to Darrelle Revis.
We'll see.
Dean?
At 26, I think the Dolphins take the first running back off the board, DeAndre Swift. I love DeAndre Swift. Number 27, the Colts, I think, trade with the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seahawks trade their first-round pick again. And I think the Colts select Jordan Love from Utah State. Frank Reich.
Jordan Love is your boy. Why do you have someone go? I am going top 15. You guys.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's your man, Dean, and we all had him going already.
I am going so early. You guys have faith in Derek Carr.
Hey, man.
I don't have faith in Derek Carr. I just don't think
I don't think Carr and Mariota are it. I don't even think Jacksonville's going to select a quarterback this year. I think they're going to select one next year. But I think the Colts get Love. The Ravens get Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma. The Titans select T. Higgins from Clemson. The Packers select Denzel Mims, which is a very good pick.
Also,
The
before you
Niners
go,
select what?
you're talking about the Packers. I saw a thing today. I saw a thing that's saying the Packers are interested in Jalen Hurts. What do you guys think of that?
No.
No.
That's
I
actually
think
not a bad
Hurts is the most overhyped quarterback in this class.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
hate
Tua.
that pick.
Yeah, that is Tua.
No, it's not.
It's Jalen Hurts.
It's
All right,
Tua.
keep
Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah,
Uh,
it'd be interesting.
Biggest bust.
Niners
since
go
Marcus
Xavier. Niners go Xavier McKinney from Alabama, and I think the Chiefs go AJ Terrell at 32.
Ooh.
Russell. Interesting.
All right, Aidan, finish us off.
At 26, I have Miami bolstering their offensive line with Cesar Ruiz. 27, I have the Seahawks going for the secondary, taking Xavier McKinney. 28, I have the Ravens making their pass rush even better. They're going to take Yetur Gross-Matos.
Please, that was so funny.
I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it looks so much fun. Tennessee, I agree. I think they need some O-line help. I think they take Ezra Cleveland out of Boise State. Green Bay, they're going to need a wide receiver. If they don't decide to go with Will Gladney, I think they take Brandon Ayuk. I, again, think that's how you pronounce his name.
Why would they not take Will Gladney?
San Francisco at 31, I think they're going to take a linebacker, Zach Bond. And then 32, the Chiefs definitely need some defensive help. I see them taking Grant Delpit out of LSU to wrap up the first round.
He's going to be a star, by the way. Good pick. I didn't have him going in the first round, but I think he'll be a star wherever he goes.
Yeah.
All right. That was that. So let's take a quick intermission, right? Because we only got a couple minutes left here, and then we'll do some Gronk. We'll do some Red Sox stuff, and winners and losers. Let's do it.
We'll see you in just a
Back in
second.
a minute, boys.
All right. Welcome back. Sorry about that. We can only do 40 minutes at a time. So now we're going to talk a little bit about a massive trade that surprised me for one, at least. I don't know about you three. But the big trade, Rob Gronkowski getting traded from the Patriots to the Bucks. Gronk and a 7th round pick are heading to the Buccaneers to rejoin Tom Brady. And the Patriots are getting in return a 4th round pick. How do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about this one?
I'll wait till you go. I'll wait till it's my turn.
Okay,
right.
Jack. So I'll start.
To quote Skip Bayless.
Yes. So I'll start. So the way I think about this trade, honestly, it doesn't really seem to have too much of an effect on the season to me. That's just what I believe. Look, Gronk's a great player, and chances are he'll have a big game here and there, and he may make a big catch at some point in a big game against, let's say, New Orleans or one of the other good teams in the NFC that they're going to be facing this year. But let's just be honest. Of the 3 tight ends that's on the roster, he's probably the 3rd best one at this point. He hasn't played in a year. He's never healthy. He wasn't very productive when he was on the field the last few years anyway. This doesn't seem to be a needle mover for me. Look, will Gronk maybe go up and moss somebody at some point and have a great catch? Yeah, he probably will. He's a Hall of Famer. He's Rob Gronkowski, and he knows Tom Brady as well as any receiver that's ever played with him. But this is not a move that makes you any closer to winning a championship or any closer to winning the division or making the postseason. It just isn't that big of a deal to me. And I love the trade for Belichick because he wasn't going to play for New England this year. I think that was pretty clear, and nobody really expected him to. So it's almost like Belichick traded a 7th round pick and got a 4th round pick almost for free. So I loved it for the Patriots. They're going to get a contributor with the 4th round pick that they got, and Gronk wasn't going to play for them anyway, and they saved money doing it. So I like the trade. Good job by Belichick, and it's kind of a whatever move. It's a lateral move for the Buccaneers. It doesn't do anything to me.
I agree. I don't think there is a winner or loser in this trade, particularly, except for maybe Tom Brady. I think it's going to be nice for Brady to have someone that he has chemistry with to start off the season down in Tampa Bay. And I'll admit, at first, when I read that as a Saints fan, I was hitting my head against the wall. I was screaming. I was like, no, how could this get any worse? But then I kind of realized I agree with you. I'll be surprised if Gronk breaks 300 or 400 yards this year. He's an old guy. His body is failing him, and he's an incredible tight end. He's one of the greatest to ever play, but I don't see him producing the numbers that he has historically. He just took a year off, and he's not in the best shape of his life. He's been hurt recently, and I don't see him contributing largely. I do, however, think, and I'm calling this now, he is going to directly win a game for the Bucs, at least one game this season. He's going to make the game-winning catch, or the catch that sets up the winning field goal or something like that. He's gonna have an impact in a game or two, but I don't think he's gonna be what he once was. And I think this was a great move by the Pats. I mean, people are making fun of it, but they just traded a retired tight end for a 4th-round pick. That's pretty impressive.
Only Belichick could pull that off.
Only Belichick, yeah.
Go ahead, Dean.
When I first saw the trade, first of all, I was stunned. I thought sooner or later, I was like, all right, maybe Gronkowski comes out of retirement, but I didn't think like at that moment that he was going to come out and get traded from the Pats to the Bucs. Tom Brady's the winner in this one because he has chemistry with Gronk. Gronk's going to be with like Brady in a loaded offense. The problem is, other than offensive line, this isn't the same Gronk. And this might not be as a good comparison, but when Le'Veon Bell was out for a year or two, I think coming back into the NFL, Gronk's going to be out of form and out of shape. Yeah. And it makes you question, not only is an injury-prone tight end, is this guy even the same? No, I don't think he's the same. I think he'll fit well with that offense, but I don't think he'll be the same guy. Will he make big catches like Aidan said? Yes. He's at least surrounded with talent. But the thing is, if you look at the Bucs, Gronk might be out of Evans, Godwin, the last option to pass to.
Like I said, I think he's the 3rd best tight end.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, here's the thing, too. Bruce Arians is a good coach. I think it's a mature coach for that offense. But I felt the Pats also, I can't speak today. My God. The Pats, they pulled this trade off. I'll give them that. More draft picks. The Pats have a lot of draft picks this year, like from round 1 all the way to round 7. Build more draft capital.
Not as many as the Dolphins.
Miami's got that's a successful. Well, Miami, that's a successful tank job.
Yeah,
but without even tanking, they won 5 games.
Brian Flores, I like Brian Flores.
And I thought the Steelers were going to be a lot worse, especially once Big Ben went down. I don't know how they went as good as they did.
Their defense was top notch. Ever since Minka Fitzpatrick got traded to the Steelers, just like that, the Steeler defense comes right back. But I think there's no one in this trade that's a winner. Maybe Brady and the Pats, although Brady's on the Bucs, but I think that's it, honestly.
All right, is it finally my turn?
Yes.
It's your turn, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this trade for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's just another weapon for Tom Brady to have. And like you guys said, you think Tom Brady is not the same. Even if he is on the decline, last year he still passed for 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns. That's solid, and that's really without any weapons. And Gronk has said he's coming back. That's the reason why he quit, is because his body was tearing apart and he lost that fire. But now he said his body feels great, and he started to get it back. He said right now he's about 10 pounds under playing shape, but he thinks that won't even be hard to get back. And the biggest thing that I love about this trade is because Tom Brady, in the past, we've seen, he loves to have 2 tight end sets. In his absolute prime, that was when the Patriots were at their best, when it was him and Aaron Hernandez. That's when he was at his strongest. And I think it will be Gronk and O.J. Howard. That's going to be a great combination. I do think he's going to be the number 1 guy because you're paying the guy $10 million. So you got to play him because you're not going to put $10 million as a backup. I can see them trading Cameron Brate because I think he's the guy that gets hurt the most from this. But in terms of the biggest loser in this trade is poor little Julian Edelman, because I was suspecting that he wanted out of New England and wanted to go to Tampa Bay to reunite with Tom Brady. But now that Gronkowski's left and they already gave up stuff to get him, Belichick is not making another trade with the same team, and Edelman will be stuck in Foxborough.
Question for you guys. Jack, you mentioned you think Brate's the one on the way out. Which tight end is going to get traded either tomorrow or whenever that ends up happening? But it's going to be one of the 2,
Cameron
Brate
Brate
or Howard.
Cameron Brate for me.
Yeah, I think Howard's the better guy to trade.
I think Howard's the better guy.
I think
to trade.
OJ Howard's.
Howard
think-
has more value, but I think he's better just overall to keep.
I
Especially-
think
Yeah.
Brait and Howard are about equal in terms of talent, but Howard, I think people are just willing to, pay more for him.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
also, especially with the Buccaneers, they don't have really a great, not even, I can't even name, now they let Perriman go, I can't even name a third receiver on that team. I think it's better to go two wide outs and 2 tight end sets, especially so you can take some of the blocking burden off of Gronk.
Yeah, definitely. You
You
can't.
could also argue that, which I think, that OJ Howard was underutilized
Absolutely.
in Tampa. I think he was absolutely underutilized, and I think as a main option or as a main target, whatever you want to say for OJ, I think that's where he thrives. Like when he thrived in Arizona a few years ago, Alabama, although it was college.
Okay.
I'd love to see Tampa, and if there's a team that I think would do this, it might be Bruce Arians' team. I'd love to see them just create a whole new playbook that has a 3 tight end base.
That'd be
Keep
interesting.
all of them? That would be crazy.
That'd be
Oh
interesting.
my
Keep all
god!
Kind of, are you thinking like the Ravens?
Here's the
In a
thing.
way, like Andrews, Boyle, and Hurst?
Yeah, I mean, they have 3 tight ends. They're all great pass catchers. 2 of them are pretty good blockers. So, you rotate blocking between Brait and Howard. You keep Gronk in constantly as a receiver. And then you just have Godwin and Evans up the sides every single time. Put those tight ends on the middle routes. Put them on the slants. Put them on fades. Or not on fades, on drags and stuff,
That's the one thing I got to say about Tampa Bay. They've done plenty of wrong over the last couple of years, but the one thing they have done right, they have produced a lot of good tight ends. 3 in particular. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, he was good, but then he just I think they weren't willing to pay him. I always thought he was pretty good when he was there, and he had a decent season for the Jets. And then with OJ Howard and Cameron Brate, that's the one good thing they produced. But also going back to Gronk, I want to mention one thing. I think it was Aidan who said this, that another reason why I think it's going to help Gronk, even if he's not absolutely what he was, that the biggest thing is that he's not going to be the main option. That's going to be Mike Evans. So we've never seen Gronk in a secondary role. So I think that's scary.
Interesting that you say Mike Evans is their first option, because the way
I totally
things
think
shaped up last season, I think Godwin.
Actually, no.
Godwin's going to be there.
I'm going to agree with you. I think Godwin. We know Tom Brady loves the slot receiver. I'm predicting right now Godwin will have more than 100 receptions.
Yeah, it's crazy going into this season. 3 of my top 5 receivers in the NFL are all in the NFC South, and 2 of them are on the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy.
So do you guys think the Bucks will win the division? I mean, we can talk about it now
No.
a little bit,
No.
now that their team is
No.
mostly complete.
No, I think the wild card's possible, but the NFC is a stacked conference. But the NFC South belongs to the Saints.
Yeah, NFC South belongs to the Saints. In the end, the Saints defense is way better than the Bucks defense.
The Saints are a more complete team.
I'm going to say it right now, guys. Not New England. Tampa Bay's not making the postseason. I just
It's
look
basically
at
New
the
England.
You
at
could
this
call them New
It's
England. It's okay. They're bootleg New England.
It's too strong. I really don't see it. And look, I know how great Brady is, but if you take the version of Brady with last year and you still put some weapons around him, I don't think there's that much of a difference in the way that his numbers and the way that his play is going to be. I don't see the defense being good enough. They can't run the ball. Their offensive line isn't great. I just don't think that they're a playoff team, and I hope that they're not, because that would be just the best thing ever to see.
The reason why I think that New Orleans is going to make the playoffs, besides the fact that they just have more talent, is because the Buccaneers, they have the absolute defensive genius and the defensive guru that is Todd Bowles. And
Yeah,
we all know.
Hopefully,
We all
he's
know Todd Bowles is
Yeah.
amazing. Is an amazing.
Todd Bowles is a better DC than he is head coach.
Yes, but let's just say his amazing defensive scheme. It only held Matt Barkley, a guy who signed on 2 days before they played the Jets, to 41 points.
Exactly.
He's so good. How is that even possible? How can you only hold him to 41 points after being signed 2 days on the
Because
job?
Matt Barkley.
What's Barkley done since?
Yeah,
No.
I think the playoffs are going to be interesting this year with the new playoff format. One more team can get into the playoffs, as you guys know, and so there's going to
Jets,
be
baby. No, I'm
in the
joking.
NFC. In the NFC, there's going to be a couple teams vying for those 3 wild card spots. The way I see it is, it's probably going to come down to the Seahawks, the Rams, the Vikings, the Bears if they can pull it off, and probably the Cowboys. And then the Bucks might be that sixth team in there vying for those 3 spots.
You think the
So
Seahawks?
we're talking about Arizona. And
Arizona, I think, is still probably a season away from being a true playoff contender, especially
agree.
if they play in probably the second best division in the NFL, maybe the best.
And what about the Falcons, guys? We were talking about the NFC South. I like the Falcons more than Tampa right now. I really like Atlanta.
No.
Yeah, but wait, going back.
I'm biased here. I don't think any of the 3 teams in the NFC South are going to be able to have anything compared to what the Saints have.
Yeah,
I agree.
I see the
I like
Bucs
the
getting
Bucs
a wild
outside of
card,
the
but I want to go back to one thing. You just said you think the Seahawks are going to be vying for the wild card.
I think the Niners are still a better team than the Seahawks. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I think I agree with you. I think the Niners, in terms of talent, they have a better roster. But I just feel like the 49ers are going to have a little bit of the effect of what the Falcons had after they lost the Super Bowl. Like you could like slowly see they were getting a little worse and worse. Like after the year they lost in the Super Bowl, they still made the playoffs, but you could tell they were a completely different team, and the attitude on that team is completely lost.
Interesting, because I think the Chiefs are going to have a bit of a Super Bowl hangover. I think they'll still win the division.
I think Seattle's winning the division. I think Seattle's winning that division. Russell Wilson has only missed the playoffs one time in his career. He's never had a losing record in his career. He missed the playoffs at 9-7. So I think there's no chance that the Seahawks miss the playoffs.
I like that.
All right, should we switch?
The Cardinals are good, but they don't really have a good defense. It's the other side of the ball that's the concern for the Cardinals.
Yeah, exactly.
Should we switch gears a little bit? Go to baseball for a minute. So today, as you guys heard, the Red Sox punishment was handed out after 2 months after they said they were going to release it.
Hold on, stop. Let me stop you right there.
Punishment.
Can we say punishment? It was a punishment.
It was not a punishment, and the reason for that was because the Red Sox did absolutely nothing wrong. It was Alex Cora with the Astros. The Sox are completely innocent. I stand by that forever and always. Greatest team in the MLB next year when they finally play. Better than the Yankees. They're beating the Yankees.
METS. Don't forget it.
You're funny. You're funny.
All right.
Oh,
so
this is the man.
He is the man.
Yeah, Noah, what do you think about it?
All right. So about this punishment. So look, we don't have the report yet the way we had the Astros report. So I can't really sit here and say what the Red Sox did or didn't do. I mean, I don't really know. But what I can say pretty much for sure is when you have a first offense the way they had the Apple Watch issue in 2018, and then you have more issues going forward, and you get accused of doing things again. Look, maybe they didn't do that much wrong just recently after the Apple Watch, but it's almost like a scenario where you say, "Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you." They did something twice.
Yeah.
Did I say that the wrong way?
I think it's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yep.
Oh, then sorry, but then forget what I said. Never mind.
But I know what you mean. Like they messed up once, they got away with it. They got away with a warning. The second time, they should get away with something bigger.
Exactly. And because you did something twice, you should get punished accordingly. Like after they give you a warning, you should get your behavior the right way, and you shouldn't be doing these things anymore. And we should be playing baseball fairly. And in terms of the punishment, I mean, they really didn't get anything. I mean, look, they got a second round pick.
Whatever.
It wasn't even a first round.
One of their video room players people got banned for 2020.
Exactly. Oh, one of the video people got banned. Like,
replay
whatever.
operator, yeah.
They can hire a guy to do the exact same thing. That does nothing.
It's okay. They could take notes from New England, go to Cincinnati, and have a video gate.
Exactly.
As if the Sox would need to treat.
And then Alex Cora, I've heard a lot of rumors today that Alex Cora might miss the season, and if we have no season, miss 0 games, and then get hired back by the Red Sox in this winter and coach and manage in 2021 as the Red Sox manager, like nothing happened. It's possible. Maybe it will happen,
I don't think the Red Sox would do that.
Will manage again. There was really no punishment here, and even if the offenses weren't too bad, they at least existed because they clearly did something wrong multiple times. they need to be punished accordingly. They were not. And Rob Manfred, he's just the worst. We know that. So why should we expect anything less of him?
He's more concerned with the juice balls than the Red Sox.
Yeah, I think this was a soft punishment for the Boston Red Sox. They said this also later on, that the MLB investigation did not find conclusive evidence that the Red Sox used sign stealing during the 2018 postseason or the 2019 regular season.
Why were they punished at all?
This was a really soft punishment.
I think it was because there was that game. I can't remember what game it was, but there was a game where there was the guy taping the Astros dugout, or not the Astros, some team's dugout. But I think that was the one thing. And he was the guy who got fired, I believe. And then Cora was suspended due to his involvement with the Astros, not due to his involvement with the Red Sox.
Okay.
No, I think there are a couple important things to just take note of here. The first is that the MLB might have gotten they got a horrible response when they released the Astros punishment, and it was nothing. Everybody was mad at them. They thought that there should have been a bigger punishment, but then you can't do that to the Astros and then go out to the Red Sox, who did arguably less, according to what they were being accused of doing, and give them a bigger punishment. So because of they set a standard by punishing the Astros, by not punishing the Astros very hard, they had to then stick to that standard when punishing the Red Sox.
But this punishment is 100 times less. They didn't even get a first round pick taken away. There was no fine.
Do anything. Secondly, I still stand by my statement. I don't believe the Red Sox did anything wrong.
Oh, stop it!
I do not. And I know I'm just a stupid Red Sox fan. Yeah, whatever. But here's the thing. Back when we were still at college, back when this was all still being investigated, back when the Astros scandal was just being really realized, the Red Sox management came out, and the management said, basically, explicitly, we did not do anything wrong. Our World Series is not tainted. We did not cheat. And of course, everybody who's accused of cheating is going to say something like that. But they said it with an arrogance and a confidence that they were right, that they knew that the MLB Investigations Committee was not going to find anything on them because they didn't do anything. And they know they didn't do anything, and the MLB knows they didn't do anything. I really think that if they ever release the full findings of this investigation, we're going to find out that the Red Sox did virtually nothing.
Yeah, just like Belichick never did anything.
Yeah, exactly. I just looked up a stat, by the way. Just about 50% of MLB second-round picks make the majors. So there's a 1 in 2 chance that this player that won't be drafted by Boston this year will never even see the field at Fenway ever.
Oh, wow.
So that's not a punishment at all. If that's the biggest part of your punishment, you're not punishing them at all. That means they really didn't do anything, and clearly they had to have done something for this punishment to exist. That's just my point.
Soft punishment.
Indeed.
It's a soft punishment for a soft crime.
I think you should have set a precedent after what the Astros did. You got to go hard at this from now on.
But they do in the future. Yeah. But if you're judging based off of what you did to the Astros, you can't then go out and say, hey, the Red Sox did less, let's punish them more.
All right.
In the same season, months apart.
That is true.
Next year, if another team now gets caught stealing signs, now they say any player who participated, suspended for a season. Coach, suspended for 2 seasons. You lose all your draft picks, whatever. I don't care what you do. But that's when you go hard. You don't go hard now when you set the precedent.
Okay.
It's too late for that.
That's a fair point.
Fair. Very fair.
All right, winners and losers, guys.
Winners and losers. You want to go first? You and Dean are winners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me. I think I'm a winner.
Yeah.
All right, my winner is the Red Sox. They got cleared of pretty much nothing today. Doesn't seem like they did anything wrong. Doesn't seem like nobody cares to punish them whatsoever. And so I guess that's my winner. And then my loser in that is the video guy who became the scapegoat of this whole problem. And I kind of feel bad for that guy, to be honest with you, because if the team did nothing wrong and he was the one person that got even remotely punished, that's kind of unfortunate. So he was the scapegoat. But the Red Sox are my winner overall. They got away easy.
All right,
Dean?
I'll go.
Oh, whoever wants to.
Yeah, Jack, take it away with the loser.
My loser is one little Julian Edelman, who will now be stuck in Foxborough for the remaining year. I feel so bad for him. I think he's going to have a huge decline in his numbers this year. And I always say this, and Dean knows this. Anybody that says that he is better than Wes Welker is out of their mind. And that year, it is going to be proven.
I agree.
Dean, what you got?
I actually have a winner and a loser. My winner is Tom Brady, of course, for getting Gronkowski. And my loser, this pains me to say this. This really pains me for what I'm about to say. My loser is Clemson for losing a 5-star recruit this week.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Oh, right. Because he doesn't like Dabo's policy. Dabo's policy is once you commit, you're all in. You can't go back. So he decommitted, but there is a chance that he could recommit. But I heard that he wants to play with near his home in California and go to USC.
Interesting.
I was a very unhappy camper a few days ago. I was just like, so why would you go to USC?
Nice. Yeah, I get it. But college football is interesting.
You can't. I mean, I understand going home though. No place like home. But why USC?
Hey man, the great Sam Darnold played.
What other California?
Stop it.
And the greater Mark Sanchez played there.
Yeah.
So did Matt Leinart
and Carson Palmer. All the disappointing quarterbacks in the first round.
All right, enough with USC. Let's go.
My loser of the week, Noah, it's similar to yours. My loser of the week is the next MLB team to have a cheating scandal, because after the reactions the MLB has had the past 3 months with their punishments to their lack of punishments to teams that got caught cheating in the Red Sox case, they are going to be going so hard on the next team.
Please be the Yankees. Please be the Yankees.
Yes.
No, be the Nationals.
I would love it if the Yankees got caught cheating. Listen, I'm going to say this right here and now.
My ears.
Sign stealing is one of the worst things you can do to cheat in any sport. But if you're going to do it against the Yankees, I'm going to love you for it. Cheat against the Yankees as much as you want.
Yeah, and their punishment would be, you got to trade Aaron Judge, you got to trade Torres, you got to trade him for you get nothing back. You trade it to your crosstown rival.
Can I just make one extra loser, even though I'm winner this week?
Yes.
Sure.
I'd like to apologize on behalf of the two Jerrys from my man Scottie Pippen for the awful treatment he suffered through his time with the Chicago Bulls after we all watched the documentary. $2 million? Come on. He was like one of the best 10 players in the world for years.
Second in salary. That's
and
nuts.
everything.
And he was an MVP candidate, bro.
Absurd.
Disrespect.
I would never fly today in this league, and I hate it for it, and I hate them for it.
You thought he was the GOAT.
All right.
Well, LeBron, that's a little different.
So that's all we have for this episode. I know it was long, but we hope you guys enjoyed it. Next week, we are going to be talking about the NFL draft. We're going to recap that. And we'll be talking about some other things. But make sure to follow us to stay updated on our Instagram and Twitter. Agree to disagree _VIC on Instagram and A2D _VIC on Twitter. And we'll see you guys in a week.
Oh, yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
Peace out, everybody.